All right, let's go. And here we go. We are on Andromeda. In the bottom left, we have NonY as the blue Protoss. And in the top right, we have Idra as Terran. And your units don't cost gas. G5 units do. These guys, they know each other very well. They've practiced together for years. Both very top, strong American players having a little conversation at the beginning.
Yeah, very cute, very nice to see. And the first thing to mention here is we've gotten cross positions, and that favors NonY, which, that's kind of what I want to see, stack all the odds in his favor. Because when Idra's pushing out, that means he's going to have to go that little extra distance, and also he's going to have to go through the center of the terrain of the map to get across to NonY's side. So a little advantage here for NonY as we're just noting the opening positions.
Yeah, and you said that it's a little extra distance, but actually on this map it is pretty far across that center, and you can't just go in a diagonal line or Protoss can flank you so hard. So you kind of have to go, okay, 3 base by my natural and that mineral base up high, maybe push over and take a side and then just get so many units that you can just kind of 1A, 2A, 3A across that map. But then again, Psystorm comes into play, the mobility of Arbiters by that late in the game. So I'm kind of expecting a long game here unless someone decides to do some wild rush strategy that screws one of them up.
That's true, and there is kind of the, I don't know, I guess you can say like the game within the game, the meta game, if you will, of Idra expecting NonY would play standard here, so maybe NonY would cheese. But I don't think that's NonY's kind of style. But look at this. It looks like he's skipping the gateway, and he's going to be doing a 12 Nexus. So that's pretty nice out of... Oh, it looks like it's a 14 Nexus, excuse me. So that's pretty nice out of NonY to try to just jump to the economic lead.
Chill, it looks to me like it's actually going to be a 13 Nexus. You were wrong twice.
No!
But... yeah. This is a great map for that, and I'm happy to see NonY do this, actually. I think it's a great opening for him. And there's basically no way for Terran to rush this easily. If they do some sort of weird 2-factory siege tank build, maybe some sort of weird vulture drop build, but other than that, it's such a long map, and you'd have to go up that ramp, and really no way to stop this very quick Nexus. So he's going to have the economical advantage against Idra to open in this game, pretty much no matter what.
Right, and I don't think Idra would be the kind of player who would do some sort of weird rush to try to counter that. We see NonY with his map hack on, takes that probe and just walks right across the map straight into Idra's main. But the wall is completed there, the Marine half done, and a factory started. Only one SCV on gas again, so it looks like it's going to be the same sort of siege expand from Idra, and I mean, if anyone was betting on this game, that's the kind of build they would expect Idra to do here.
Definitely, I think that throughout the TSL, we're going to see Idra be going 1 factory expansion against, everyone but Zerg, and probably against Zerg, one barracks expansion. He wants to play these economical long games. The longer the game goes, the more likely the better player is going to win, and that's going to be Idra the majority of the time. He's been dominating the scene for a while, and I don't expect him to deviate much. It's done really well for him this year. So, pattern recognition skills for the win.
And I mean, that's StarCraft these days. I mean, back in the day, it was like if you did a fast expansion, that was considered dangerous. If you did like some sort of 2 racks against Zerg, that was safe. But it's kind of switched it around now, where if you do 2 racks, that's dangerous because you need to do damage. So, I mean, especially Idra, he's played so many games. He knows what to build when to not lose to these early rushes. Except I know he has had some fabled losses to a certain month Zerg.
Which month would that be? September? November?
We'll leave that one a mystery for now, but I'm sure some geniuses out there can figure it out.
Yes, I'm sure that they are buzzing with excitement trying to figure that out, checking maybe replays and who finished where in the TSL ladder. Hopefully we can see that matchup later on. But anyways, we see that Idra has scouted NonY completely. He sees exactly what's going on, 2 gateway range after the 13 Nexus. Idra, in the meantime, he started his command center before even his first siege tank, so he's not going to be too far behind. But, that Nexus has been up a while, so this is just kind of the brunt end that Terran has to take on some maps against Protoss. just kind of, you know, the map is too long to rush. You get the quick nexus, your economy's better than mine. Okay, I'll just siege expand and try to outplay you in a longer game.
Yeah, exactly. There's just some disadvantages you have to deal with. Looks like NonY's coming up with 2 Dragoons. A little strange, they're taking a lot of hits. Looks like he wasn't watching that. I think once he confirms that for sure he's expanding, Idra that is, NonY will probably put down another Nexus. Looks like the probe is heading out down now to do that anyway. And yeah, we're just going to keep expanding, keep making units until we get to the point where, you know, it's time for the epic clash where they're just going to ram into each other.
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if NonY just tries to stay one Nexus up on Idra all game long and maybe, you know, just macro, keep enough army that when Idra tries to come out of that little choke, because you see where his siege tanks are right now above his ramp, it's really hard to break Terran in their main base here. And look at this, the Dragoon running up to check on that command center. He sees it, but he's going to lose that Dragoon for that scouting intel. You know, as you see, really easy to defend this location, but for the same reasons, you know, it's this thin little choke. When Terran comes out, Protoss can just, you know, kind of crush up against them, you know, just make a ton of gateways, get Size Storm, because the Terran units are very clumped up coming out. And I think that's the strategy we should be seeing from NonY this game.
Yeah, and look at this, 3rd command center half done now for Idra, so he knows NonY's going to take another base, and the Nexus for NonY at the natural is only about 75% done, so Idra catching up in economy a little bit there. He's still on 1 factory, putting down the armory. He knows this is going to go to a late game, and when Terran gets that 3-3, you just want to see those Dragoons and Zealots melting. So Idra's looking forward to that, wants to get the upgrades quickly. Not as important for NonY getting upgrades on Protoss units. That's why we don't see a Forge very quickly in PvT.
That's right, you know, the upgrades just don't matter quite as much in PvT. You know, that +2 damage as opposed to +5 from a siege tank, big difference there. But, you know, NonY right now, he's making a shuttle in his robotics, and that's kind of interesting. I'm really wondering exactly what he's planning to do. Maybe expand to the island, because he knows that, you know, the odds of Idra fast expanding and then going starport very, very low. Probably, you know, he knows that Idra's going to do something such as make this double expansion, make a bunch of factories. So expanding to the island, it would be really smart. But what else is he going to do with this shuttle? Is he going to try for some sort of bulldog? He is loading up 4 Zealots into it and moving these Dragoons out. But, you know, Idra, he has a wall in right now. I can't see him dying to any sort of bulldog attack.
Yeah, I think this is coming a little too late. If he wanted to bulldog, he should find it at the timing when, you know, the 3rd just finishes and he's still on 1 factory. I mean, he hasn't got an advantage from the 2nd factory, but units are going to be coming out of there quickly. I think it's going to come just a little bit too late. We can see the tanks are stacked up, but 4 of them are unsieged, so Idra, I mean, pretty smart player. Doesn't look like he's going to fall. Here goes the shuttle. 1 Marine just flying around. Looks like he's going to drop them, try to get the unsieged tanks. Idra is unsieging now. Dragoon's coming in to try to support that, but that's not going to work on the high ground. NonY needs to just let this go. It's not going to happen this time.
Yeah, you know, it was a decent idea, but the wall in really is what solved that for Idra. If there were no buildings there, he could have ran the Dragoons up and really done some damage. But, you know, Idra playing very defensively, does not want to lose to something silly like a Bulldog where, you know, you just unload Zealots and run in with the goons while the siege tanks are going crazy. So we see some good defensive play out of Idra here. And we also see minerals stacking up for both players. That's what happens on this map. You know, that mineral base, as I was saying earlier, most maps you practice on, they have minerals and gas, so you're used to spending them in conjunction with one another. But, you know, this map, not the case.
Yeah, and wow, Idra putting down a lot of factories here. 4 more factories, a 5th one was done, and he's got 3 more with add-ons. Zealots harassing in the main now, actually getting quite a few SCV kills. That's cute. I mean, you're not doing anything with the shuttle anyway. Might as well take some macro time away, take some multitasking away from your opponent. Meanwhile, NonY setting up that 3 o'clock base, putting down a forge to defend that. He needs to get the gateways going. He's putting 3 more down, but I think he can support more than that. I mean, he's going to be on 4 Nexus with 4 running gateways. He needs to catch up or he's going to fall to these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 factories from Idra.
Yeah, it's quite clear at this point that Idra's going to go for a really strong timing attack. You know, he's got +1 almost finished up. He's getting his Vulture upgrades right now, which, you know, is sometimes sort of late, but he's getting them basically right before he hits his rush timing. So he is actually going to move out, and as long as he hits all his depots, he's actually going to have a scary amount of units. Now, NonY, you know, as we see, he's taken 9 o'clock. He has 4 bases up and running, but, you know, as you said, not enough gateways. He really needs to add more and more gateways, and just macro like there is no tomorrow. He has 4 High Templars making, though, right now, and he is upgrading Storm, so no repeat of the NonY missing Storm from last season. And Idra getting ready to move out. This is going to be the decisive moment of this game.
Wow, he moves out in Siege. I didn't expect that. Got supply stuck at 86 a little bit. Looks like he's just pushing out to his natural and doing some Vulture harassment. I was going to say if he came out, he probably wasn't going to expect Psystorm to be finished that quickly. Normally you'd expect Protoss to just be massing gateway units until the point that doesn't work, and then they switch over to High Templar. But NonY getting it pretty quickly. Up at 152 supply. Idra's stuck around 110 again. He's really having trouble getting his supply depots going here. And looks like this is the timing he wants to move out. He's got +1. I mean, NonY's got an observer sitting right over here following the army, so he sees exactly what's happening.
Yeah, you know, I really do like NonY's play right now. He has a lot of units. He's finally picking up with the macro. That shuttle is a scary shuttle indeed. It has 4 High Templars in it. And here Idra comes. He's got to be careful. He's got to lay some spider mines, or NonY's going to be able to crush through his army.
And here we go, the Dragoons moving in. Zealot's getting a good surround. Looks like half of Idra's army. The High Templar gets picked off instantly. Looks like Idra knows what's in that shuttle. Second High Templar, Psystorm goes off. Another Psystorm. Is there a third one coming in? The Zealot's getting torn up. Good positioning from Idra. Looks like he's going to hold pretty easily. He forces NonY back. NonY lost about 40 supply in that battle. Idra lost about 10. So looking like he's in a really good position. Now is going to be the pivotal time when he's trying to push around this terrain and keep going.
You know, that was really impressive by Idra. And here we go. NonY engaging again, losing a few Dragoons, killing almost nothing, just a few Vultures. And you know what? Vultures, they cost 0 minerals and they're free. Well, no, not exactly, but that's what Protoss players think. They really reinforce very quickly. So losing any battle to some Terran who has a lot of factories, it is hard, man. They are going to reinforce so quickly. And as we see, Idra now in a great position. Zealot's running up, dragging mines through, and it looks like he will be able to save this expansion for now. But, you know, Idra in a great position.
Oh, nice Psy on the few tanks back there. That one's in the red. Looks like NonY's going to sacrifice the High Templar. Can't keep it alive. Another High Templar out in the open. He's got to be careful with that. Psystorm going off on the Vultures on hold position. They're just going to eat that until they die. And the 9 o'clock expansion now getting sieged by 1 tank. And NonY really needs to keep that alive in this game if he wants to have a chance.
Indeed he does. You know, if he loses that base, it's pretty much all over. Idra not taking another base yet. He is just macro mode. And NonY, his reinforcements, mostly Zealot now. And while that may take out a bunch of tanks here, those units are not going to be any good against the Vulture reinforcements. So, you know, the Zealots, they played their part somewhat, but without the Dragoons to back them up, we're going to see Idra just be able to push forward more and more.
Right, and if we keep going at this rate, it's not going to look good for NonY. Another High Templar getting sniped by the Vultures. Some mines getting taken out by Zealots there. NonY needs to pull back, get a competent army together, and then engage as one. His units are kind of flooding in, and he's getting a little frantic here. I mean, on the other hand, if he lets Idra get a siege hold here, that's not going to be good either. So he really needs to find that right timing when his army is well controlled, when he can just push through and break this cleanly.
Yeah, and look at that. Idra has brought up a couple Goliaths. This is a very scrappy battle, and in a battle like this, a couple Goliaths do great. You see him sniping some observers, or at least trying to. And as he kills those observers, these mines are going to become, you know, exponentially more powerful. So NonY's going to have to run ahead with Zealots, try to drag those mines out of the way, because he just does not have an observer in the area.
And good macro for both players. No, both players under 1,000. NonY pushing 1,000 now. Idra is consistently around 500. Looks like he's giving up that base and moving his probe down, posturing his army. Maybe he's going to try to break out, but I see a probe going to bottom right with a Zealot to clear out anything. So he may just give this up and try to expand to another base.
And you know, it's sad. NonY's first expansion there, the mineral-only one, it's already been harassed by Vultures. Idra scanning again with siege tanks, taking out even more probes. So he's basically stopping 2 bases at once. NonY is going to be down to very few probes in his main. His regular gas natural, you know, he's mining from just fine, but he has lost the Nexus at 9 o'clock, and NonY now countering. Looks like he finally has enough to clean this up, but Idra, he does not have his full army there at all. He has stopped reinforcing it as soon as he killed the Nexus, and once again we are seeing absolutely amazing play out of Idra here.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's kind of the calling card of bad players. They continue to reinforce. They're like, I need to keep this attack going. But Idra knows it served the purpose. He got that expansion. He doesn't need to sacrifice more units. So everything that was left is going to die. He doesn't throw anything more away. And look at this. He just sits all these vultures and tanks all cozy together in the natural. There's nothing really NonY can do but lick his wounds, take that expansion again, and try to do better next time.
Chill, there is nothing cozy about the cold hard metal army of Idra, but you know, he is just sitting there. He is building them up, and that is what you do. You know, you hurt the economy of Protoss, and then you wait for that to kick in. You know, at first you don't feel it, and look at that, a little high Templar drop the natural, only killing a couple SCVs it looks like. Idra really quick to react, but you know, NonY, he's trying to be as scrappy as he possibly can, not really working out for him, and his economy is really going to start hurting. As you see, his supply not going up nearly as quickly anymore. He's at about 160. In the meantime, Idra's up about 150, and all he has to do right now is just sit tight, macro, and then attack. NonY is not going to be able to hold off this army of Idra for long.
Right. The game's been pushed now that NonY has to do something to get back into it, and we saw that high Templar drop is a good example of what he could have done, but Idra too quick there. Idra is sitting on his 4 bases. He's probably going to be fine to just macro up to 200 and then push out. Surprisingly, he's not upgrading, so he hit that +1 timing and then just kind of gave it up. We can see NonY at 111 off those 2 forges, so really good upgrades. Unfortunately, those aren't going to help him too much. 4 high Templar in the shuttle, wow. So maybe NonY looking to, like he wants to engage here.
You know, there are a lot of Goliaths out there, though. 6 Goliaths in total. If he can snipe that shuttle, the game is all but over. NonY right now has to be very careful with this army as he rebuilds his economy. You know, he is mining again from that mineral base, but only 2 probes. His main base still has minerals in it, but not a lot of probes there either. His natural, totally fine. And finally retaking that 9 o'clock base. But that is it. He's on 4 base. Idra is on 4 base. And, you know, you cannot have the same amount of bases as Terran. You know, Terran is the most cost-efficient race. You have to out-expand them as Protoss, as Zerg. And that is the only way you're going to end up winning this. So Idra, you know, the longer that they stay on this 4 base versus 4 base, the more likely it is that Idra is just going to roll him over.
Right, and Idra crushing down now, sieging up. I don't know if this is a good spot for NonY. He's got a lot of high Templar. He needs to get that storm working. Huge storms on those tanks. Oh my god. Storms everywhere, cutting up so many tanks. Oh my god. NonY coming up, just crushing the entire army of Idra with Psystorm. Look at all those Archons doing their job. I'm sure the kills on those are in the hundreds. Oh my god, now moving up. Idra is all but crushed, running back to his natural as quick as he can. Land that barracks, kid. You need to defend this attack.
Wow, the game has turned around so quickly here. Amazing moves by NonY. That was, oh, anyone who has seen the Zhangbi vs. Nada game on Othello, I believe it was, that just harkened back to it. Amazing blanket of Psystorms all over Idra's army. His supply suddenly down to 86. It looked like he was in an unlosable position. Another Psystorm, and NonY rushing into the natural. He may actually be able to take this game right now.
Yeah, he may be able to break. He's got Speed Zealots running in, taking out the tanks. He's got Dragoons down. The Natural is under siege from Idra. 1 tank down, 2nd tank getting repaired as quick as possible. That's going to live. But NonY, I mean, the damage is done. He stopped that 3 o'clock expansion. He's coming to the Natural. A lot of SCVs down. And Idra is sitting at 64 supply. NonY at 120. That's a comfortable position if I've ever seen one. And there's the cozy place we were looking for in this game, that supply differential. NonY in just a great command of this game at this point.
You know, I can't believe what I have seen this game. Idra was playing astoundingly well. He was so far ahead. I was sure that this game was going to be over, but, you know, just that 4 high Templars in the shuttle, an amazing, amazing comeback from NonY. I have geek chills right now, man. I have goosebumps all over my body. That was an amazing play by NonY.
Yeah, and at this point, I mean, what can Idra do? He's got to push out eventually. He's running out of minerals. If we look at his second natural, the mineral only, all the minerals are under 500, same with his natural. So at some point, he's got to be thinking about another base. NonY has complete map control, complete army domination, and wow, I have never seen High Templar like that in PvT for years, basically.
Yeah, man, seriously, that just brought back images of Zhongbi's, 48 storms at once on Nada. It was the same type of deal right there. But this was even more important because this is the PokerStrategy.com TSL, the biggest StarCraft tournament in the world. And NonY, just an amazing comeback. It looked like Idra was going to totally outclass NonY this series. But as we see, this series is going to be a good one. There is no telling which way it's going to go.
Little vulture harassment on the army of NonY there. Tried to snipe the Templar, but NonY pulled them back very quickly. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 High Templar, all with the energy upgrade. Good God. And NonY's army just looks dominant here. I mean, what can Idra even do? He's trying to get some vulture harassment, but NonY seems to have like several control groups at every point on the map. I really feel for Idra here. That one battle turned this game on its head. He's trying to take 3 o'clock. That gets shut down instantly. Trying to push out now.
And look at this, the upgrade differential as well. Idra with just +1 attack still. NonY +3 attack, +1 plasma shields, +2 armor. Those are great stats to have, man. He is going to just crush his Terran army at his own leisure. So the game just about over, and I think this is going to be it. He's going to run through with these zealots, clean up these last few siege tanks, and Idra's going to realize, I have no money and no units. It's time to GG. Or in Idra's case, not GG.
I think what he's actually going to realize is Psystorm is imbalanced. How could he play the Terran race? And there we go. No GG from Idra, just leaving the game as expected.
I am at a loss for words here, Chill. Idra played so well. It looked like there was, a 5% chance for NonY to win, and he took that 5%, loaded 4 High Templars in a shuttle, and he just bashed Idra after that, man. That was so exciting. What a game. That is just, wow, what a game.
Yeah, he hit his out, basically. He had a 1-outer and he hit it because he was getting his High Templar sniped so well by Idra with those vultures. And then suddenly just crashing through, Idra got kind of grouped together with the tanks, and I mean, everyone saw the game. You saw what happened. Just unreal. Unreal. I'll never forget that image.
I know, man. I know. It's... Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So it's 1-1. You predicted a 3-2 in Idra's favor. I predicted a 3-1. So already, it's not going to be a 3-0 like I'm sure Idra wanted and had planned. I'm really excited for this next game, Destination. This is a good map for Protoss versus Terran. As you see, it's got a pretty decent win percentage for Protoss, but still very playable for Terran. One of the best maps ever made, for sure.
And I think the thing here is this is probably a map Idra has played, in the CJ house, in IC Cup, everywhere. He's probably played this game, this map hundreds of times, so he's got to feel comfortable here. But that being said, I get the feeling he's going to move a little bit on tilt after those Psystorms when he had the game all but wrapped up, and then he lost it, in devastating fashion. He can't be feeling too good. So I think the story here is, can he get it together, play his game? And another thing to consider is Destination has a lot of little cheesy moves you can do. So if NonY was going to do that, this could be the map.
Yeah, I was just going to point that out. There's so many places that NonY could hide tech, so many little tricky strategies that he could employ. I'm really looking forward to what he has planned for this map. The both previous games I thought he had pretty good build orders planned, even though I just scouted game 1 very, very well and figured it out in time to stop it. But, NonY, a master of preparation, one of the smartest practicers we've ever seen in the Foreigner scene. So, even though he's been inactive a year, the time he has been active recently getting ready, I'm sure that he has something really great prepared for Destination.
Right, and I don't know what he can have prepared better than those Psystorms, but if he has it, I'm going to be excited, let me tell you. I'm ready for it. It's 1-1. This is going to be the turning point. Let's see it.